Peace, family. Well, it's inevitable. Just about every time I talk about black people having ownership and control over their existence, instead of us focusing on what we do have to achieve this goal, we always focus on what we don't have and end up doing nothing. When I talk about black people having private businesses, industries, and institutions in our community, one of my last viewers talking about we're going to need an army in order to protect it. And I'm going to answer that question. I'm answering like this. Tell me, what army is being used right now to force you to work for businesses that pay you slave wages? What army is being used right now that's forcing you to take your children to hospitals where you can't even afford the quality of care? What army is being used right now to force you to go to this country's financial institutions to apply for loans that charge you an exorbitant amount of interest? What army are they using to force you to do that? None. When you look at the quality of food that you're going to the grocery store to buy, that they're charging you 2 and 3 times the average amount just to purchase it, what army are they using to force you to do it? You know, this country manufactures food in 2 different ways. One for domestic consumption and one for international consumption. The quality of food that this country manufactures to feed its own citizens is not accepted in other countries. Why? Because their government won't allow it. Knowing this, and this is not nothing I'm bringing up that's new. This has been going on for years, decades. What army are they using to force you to purchase this junk? Forcing you to feed it to your children. There isn't any. So if you don't need an army to suppress, you don't need an army to liberate. All you need is people focused on the same goals and agenda and brave enough to take the necessary steps in order to achieve it. If there's 40 to 45 million black people in this country. If we all had a universal belief, understanding that our inalienable rights of liberties, freedoms, and rights, liberties, and freedoms is ours to have. If we all believe that and work towards it, what military force would this country need to have to stop 40 to 45 million black people from achieving their agenda? Like I said, there's less than 1.5 million people in the military in this country. How many people, how many opposers would it take if we were to take the necessary steps to build independent businesses, industries, and institutions in the communities in this country? Because before, there was a time they had over 1,200. We had over 1,200 independent black communities in this country. If black people want to, and we did that without a military. Keep that in mind. There was no military force used for black people to create 1,200 communities within this country. If we got back to that same mentality, and this country only have less than 1.5 million people in this military force, how many people would it take to stop 40 to 45 million from feeding themselves nutritious food, from building their own businesses that's giving them livable wages, that's building their own hospitals that give them affordable care, that's going to their own banks that's giving them prime interest rates? How many opposers would it take to stop 40 to 45 million black people? But instead of focusing on that, you focusing on what we don't have. You know, and like I said, every time I do a video talking about black people having ownership, is somebody come up with some type of problem for every solution. These are what I call professional slaves. I don't care if I sit up here and answer the 99 questions about what we could do, how we can do it, how long it'll take to achieve the goals I be talking about. If I'm unable to answer the 100th question, they'll turn around, oh, see, you don't got a complete plan. See, these are the people that, like I say, are always going to bring up a problem for every solution. Because if I said that we don't need a military, and they say that we do, and I said, okay, well, let's get a military, then the next thing they're going to come up with, well, who's going to command it? Well, then let's answer that question. Who do you think should command it? If black people, if we developed our own military force, who do you think should command it? Me? Or somebody who always coming up with some type of problem to delay our liberation? They're going to come up with some problem to every solution. Who would you want to command it? You know. But the bottom line is this. If we keep focusing on what we don't have, we're going to stay in the same position that we're in right now. And they said that by the year 2053, black people have a median net worth of 0. Do you know what that means? That means that for every money that you make, your cost of living is going to be equal to or greater than that. You're going to be working for nothing. And how do you do that? By having 40 to 45 million black people still stuck on sitting back and letting other people determine their way of life and not taking necessary steps to build their own. We can build our own businesses to pay our own selves a livable wage and build our own institutions that give us an affordable quality of life so that our cost, so we will never have a negative or zero net worth as a median people in this country. We will have to be insane to go from 2026 to 2053 and realize that what they've been talking about for these, and it actually come to fruition. And we say to ourselves, all we had to do was do for ourselves, and we would have never been in this situation to begin with. We would have to be a people that's totally insane to go to the next 20-something years, and with about 27 years, and know that if we were to put the same effort in the next 27 years to building for ourselves, you know what? I'm not even going to go into that. I'm going to end this video here. And as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments. And I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.